Hey everyone, this is Mo Twister, and you're listening to the Kingdom Podcast with the voice DJ Yuki.
That was the OG, Mo Twister, promoting this podcast. If you like Korean pop culture, or know someone who does, then get into it, and visit our Facebook, Twitter and Instagram pages at the Kingdom Pod PH.
We're proud to tell you that this is one of the premier shows to go to for your weekly dose of K-pop. So drop everything and listen to the Kingdom Podcast. Available in all your podcast streaming platforms.
Join us!
If you like this episode, please rate the podcast 5 stars, 6 and take your dome. This podcast is a member of Bun Collective.
Welcome to your unfiltered Tagalog Wrestling Podcast. And this is the MTG Show Podcast, our wrestling podcast. Ayun. So, ayun, welcome to the show. No introductions. Let's do the All Out review, shall we? So, for today's episode, we're going to talk about All Out plus yung fallout ng All Out since tangina, hawakan ko ng alamet ko. There's a lot of things to talk about All Out, no? And hindi natin kayang pag-usapan tong event in one parter lang. Okay? So, WWE talk, i-ano natin siya by tomorrow, Friday. Kasi we're going to talk about a lot there. Yung fallout ng Raw. Then, Clash at the Castle, NXT Worlds Collide. So, ito, pabubukas na natin yon. So, for today, we're going to talk about All Out. We're going to talk about everything happened, especially on that media scrum na nangyari. Thank you, CM Punk. So let's get down to it. Shall we? No more introduction. You know who I am. Welcome to the show. Okay. So let's do this. Eto. So bago tayo mag-diretso doon sa nangyari pagkatapos ng All Out, let's do the All Out review muna, no? So, main card started in a casino ladder match. So, basically, it's a 7-man ladder match. Where's my list? Nawawala yung cards ko. Nung nag-all out lang, nalimutan ko na lahat no? So, ito. So, Claudio, Wheeler Yuta, Penta, Phoenix, Rush Andrade, Dante Martin, and the DVD na na-reveal, syempre, it was revealed as MJF after of the broadcast. Mamaya pag-usapan natin ng malinaw yon. So, medyo malabo sa atin dito sa podcast yung naging outcome itong match, especially when Stokely climbed through the ladder and then grab the chip. So, tapos may binigyan siya na isang mascot. Nakala mo Jabberwockies na hindi mo malaman-laman kung bakit ganun yung suot niya nung una. It's kind of awkward. Pero it is what it is. Ang lala nung nangyari ng oras na yun. Sabi ko, unang una kong nireview tong match, sabi ko, it's gonna be bullshit. Pero mamaya pag-usapan natin na matindi ito. So let's get down to the main event. CM Punk versus John Moxley. So, CM Punk defeated Moxley. Everybody knows what happened on that pay-per-view afterwards, but we're going to talk about before. So, CM Punk hits 2 straight GTS to beat John Moxley. Ewan ko sa akin, parang ang kalat. Ang kalat nung naging match. And then medyo hindi umaabot sa expectation ko yung excitement ko during this match. Parang may part na medyo naumay ako. May part din na medyo sabi ko tulog ko na lang to. Sinabi ko sa Kayfiv Cafe Boys na may part din ng match na to na sobrang nayayamot ako about how they executed the match. Parang akala ko hindi mo mapupunta sa maganda eh. Lalo nang hindi napunta sa maganda yung naging outcome. It's kind of funny to see this obvious formalities between Moxley and Punk. Everybody knows na Punk will win the title at All Out. Pero ang hindi natin alam na mawawalan ng saysay yung sarili niyang panalo sa All Out. It's funny, right? Ay, gago. Sorry. It's funny, right? Medyo nawalan ako ng gana. Sabi ko, the original plans of this is gawin na lang natin na mixed. Pero hindi ko siya kayang one-parter lang. So sinabihan ko rin si Yuki prior to our original plans na gawin naming two-parter. Yun na rin ang gagawin natin. And let's go back to the CM Punk. Si CM Punk, sabi ko, hindi na ako na-excite that CM Punk won the belt. Na-excite ako sa naging fate. Parang in less than 1 week, we have 3 world champions. And it's kind of disappointing to see. Parang a lot of happenings on that backstage. Bullshit. We're going to talk about it a bit. Parang ang dating sa akin, medyo nagkalat ng matindi si CM Punk. Nung nagtusta na siya, tinusta niya na yung kasama sila Ace Steel, sila Pat Buck, yung Young Bucks, si Kenny Omega. There's a lot of happenings backstage na hindi mo malaman kung if CM Punk's decision was right o CM Punk is just running his ego as usual, as he should be in that perspective. Pero ito, let's go back. Bago natin pag-usapan, tong world title match, it doesn't make sense. After that 3-minute squash, nag-expect pa ba ako ng maganda? Of course not. And we got that outcome. Formality, CM Punk won. Yun. And then, pababa tayo. So we get House of Black beating and losing to Miro, Darby, and Sting. Awan ko, parang it's kind of disappointing to see them lose. Parang it's kind of sad. At the same time, may balita tayo na si Malakai is planning to take an absence or leave of absence. We're not sure about the details yet. Maybe bigyan ko pa kayo ng update after that, no? Kasi parang it's either gusto niyang umalis ng AEW o maybe gusto niya lang mag-take ng break because of his mental health regardless and that stuff. Sana gumanda yung niya, peace sa kanya. Okay. So the match, okay lang. Medyo okay lang siya sa akin. Kaya umabot lang siya sa part na I can say it's mid o kaya medyo pleased naman ako. Then, let's talk about Brian Danielson and Chris Jericho. Ito, first impression, it's gonna be good. No? It's gonna be good. Pero, on the match itself, parang ni-regret ko yung sinabi ko. Wala pang 10 minutes, regret ko na agad. 10 minutes pa lang, puta. Para akong gago. Para tayong naggagaguan eh. Si Jericho sobrang bagal talaga. Tapos tinapat mo kay Danielson. Parang hindi sila nagtutugma. Ano? Parang si DB nag-adjust na lang siya. And hindi pa rin siya makapag-adjust. It's funny. Hindi ko akalain na may aayawan akong Bryan Danielson match ngayong 2022. And it's funny kasi Yuki from the Kingdom loves both guys. If you know, you know. Pakinggan niyo yung episode namin last time. He fucking loved both of those guys. And sinasabi ko na agad sa kanya, sobrang opposite nung nangyari. Sobrang opposite nung pakiramdam ko about BD and this match versus Jericho. Sobra akong naiinis to the point na pagpasa Diyos ko na lang to. Ipagpasa Diyos na lang natin tong katarantaduhan ni tong dalawang tao. Okay, let's continue. So, Christian Cage and Jungle Boy. So, Jack Perry. Jungle Boy na yung branding niya. Okay lang. I can say it's okay lang. Parang Christian is still injured. So, short notice lang yon, short match. Si Luchasaurus, inassault niya si Jungle Boy. So, yeah. Ano yun? Then, kill switch. Basically it. I don't really care. Parang tutuloy pa nila to story. Based on this today's Dynamite. Enter yung Women's Champion. I'm glad Britt didn't want. Ewan ko, parang natutuwa ako to the fact na hindi si Britt yung nanalo ng belt. Kasi it's too much for her. And aside that, parang hindi na napapanahon na gawin pa nilang champion si Britt Baker. Parang tinapay na lusaw, tapos pinilit mo pa rin kainin. Ganon na ganon si Britt Baker. And everyone loves that. It's kinda weird. Then, and so at least may spark na din ng Jamie Heater versus Britt Baker. So it's good for me. Awan ko, parang maganda siya sa akin kasi itong segment na to, itong simpleng segment na to, itong naging simple appearance na ito ni Jamie Hader. And yung pag-scroll ni Britt sa kanya, sign na yon. Parang magkakaroon na sila ng feud together. Anytime soon. Ayun. So, continue tayo with tag titles. So, definitely, this is the match that I'm looking for on this card. Yung pinanood ko to dire-diretso. So, ay putya. Ba't pa kayo nag-pay-per-view in the first place? Parang ang basura ng dating. Tapos, ang sinasabi pa natin, tong, decision na Swerve and Keith Lee winning the match, for me, it doesn't make sense. I don't know, parang sobrang over talaga ng the acclaimed. Tapos, hindi pa nila nakapitalize yung kanyang panalo o yung panalo nila, hindi nila nakapitalize na yun sa pay-per-view. Tapos, hindi mo pa nabigay yung shot sa the acclaimed. Like, guys, ano to? Is Tony Khan running WWE? Parang this is a typical WWE thing. If you remember, when Vince McMahon is still running WWE, most of the time, yung mga matches, ganyan ang outcome. And si Tony Khan, ginawa niya yung ganon trick. And everyone hated that. So I'm glad there's a rematch in 2 weeks sa Grand Slam goods. 2 weeks may rematch din agad. So mabuti naman. They deserve the rematch. I hope at this time the acclaimed will win the titles. And umpisa na nila yung yung feud between Keith Lee and Swerve. Parang they are teasing up a split for the past few weeks. And it's fine, 'di ba? It's fine kasi the end of it parang sila-sila rin naman yung mananalo doon. Kung si Swerve, hindi rin naman maikli yung kanyang contract with AEW, maybe he get issued back to the Fed, WWE. Pero, let's see. Let's see what's going to happen. Marami pang pwedeng mangyari though. Then, so let's talk about the trios match. Wardlow, FTR versus Jay Lethal and Motor City Machine Guns. In my opinion, this is the best trios match of the night. So, since there's 3 trios matches of the night, I think this match tops all of them. Parang yung chemistry ng Motor City Machine Guns plus samahan mo pa ng FTR tsaka bonus na lang actually sila Wardlow. Parang if you guys put those punks together, it's a finished product na sobrang ganda. And sa tingin ko na-execute yun ng mabuti on this match alone. And Wardlow's popularity is still big. So syempre, sabi ko, Tony Khan is kinakapitalize niya yung push ni Wardlow. Ganito naman yung hindi nila ginawa sa The Acclaimed. 'Di ba? Ang labo. Parang they can't really push 50-50. Parang hindi niya maintindihan kasi ba talaga yung ipupush niya on the top. It's really weird. O sobrang labo niya sa akin. Ayun, let's go to the TBS title. Jamie Hayter. Sino nga ito putang ina to? I forgot. Si Jade Cargill at saka si Athena. Ha? Magre-review pa ba tayo dito? Magre-review pa ba tayo dito? Because the match lasted only 5 minutes less. And wala akong naintindihan sa nangyari. It's just a pointless matchup. Parang disappointing siya sa akin. Wala. It's just It's just bullshit. Sa madaling sabi. Okay. So, continue tayo. Trios title. So, everybody knows who won. That's the Elite. Pero, you know what happened on Dynamite? There's a lot of happenings happened after nun. Na nangyari sa Dynamite, nung in-announce ni TK sa Dynamite, everybody and everything changed. And less than a minute after of that media bullshit. So, yun. The trios match, okay. Parang sobrang akong satisfied on how this match goes. And as much as how this match goes, parang na-realize ko kung akong tatanungin nyo, dapat ang nanalo na lang dito yung best friend. Best friend, si Dark Order. Ayos naman siya sa akin kung sila yung nanalo. Pero parang yun, kagaya sa mga nangyari na to, itong nakaraan, parang it's kind of pointless to me. Na hindi man lang nila binigyan ng shot in Dark Order. But it's kind of understandable kasi si Hangman nasa world title picture. 'Di ba? Mamaya pag-usapan natin na matindi yun before we go to the commercial. Then, eto, tatakel tayo isang match from the 0 hour. So, Eddie Kingston versus Tomohiro Ishii. I know, kinapitalize lang ng AEW yung magandang laban nila a few weeks back sa isang New Japan event dito sa US. So, basically, kinapitalize lang nila yon. So, yeah. After of the CM Punk match, so, ito na nga. May narinig tayo na big voice call na na-reveal was Tony Khan and MJF. And nag-reveal siya na sabi niya, the demon is back. He appeared to end All Out. Parang nagsenya-sense na siya. Sinabi niya na siya yung Joker. And what a night. Ito lang basically yung nagsalba ng All Out pay-per-view as a whole. Merong magagandang matches pero obviously as a whole pay-per-view, ito lang yung nagsalba. Sorry about that. Sobrang excited ako on this kasi we're going to talk about quality over quantity. Pero ang lumalabas, quantity lang yung maganda sa AEW. It's funny. Ito pa. Yung Clash at the Castle na glorified house show, mas nagmukha pang maganda kaysa dito. Or even Worlds Collide, mas maganda pa nga kaysa dito. 'Di ba? But those pay-per-views, pag-usapan natin yung tomorrow sa isa pang episode ng podcast. Kasi hindi na talaga natin kaya pag-usapan in the whole tong both pay-per-views kasi medyo mahaba kasi i-discuss yung kay CM Punk. Medyo komplikado. At the same time mahaba. So, as a whole, ang rating ko sa All Out, tong All Out na to, is definitely their worst so far. Ito as a whole, ito yung pinaka-ayokong All Out na pay-per-view nila. No? Siguro, yung 2021 All Out, ang gusto ko doon was actually yung yung kung paano nila kung paano nila na-execute yung mga comebacks. Yun ang gusto ko noong 21. Noong 2020, I love how they explored the venue doon. Plus yung ilang matches doon, maganda 2019, wala talaga sobrang ganda ng 2019. Pero noong 2022, mas sumagwa siya. Parang to the point na 2 weeks na nga lang yung build up, hindi pa mabuild ng mabuti. In 1 week, nakapag-official kayo ng 10 matches. Like, ultimo main event, doon nandun na set. Like, putang ina. What's wrong with this promotion? Is this, meron pa ba kayong pay-per-view? Like, yun ang una ko talagang iniisip na may pay-per-view pa ba ang AEW this Sunday? And they're acting like no one. And it's funny kasi in the end of the day, it's money for AEW, it's money for Warner, it's money for whoever owns some devs from AEW. And it's kinda ironic di ba? It's funny how this pay-per-view goes. Kung paano yung nangyari sa backstage. Yun nga mismo. Mas napag-usapan pa yun kasi sa mismong pay-per-view nyo. Kaya sobrang laking incident stuff na to At sobrang nakakatawa na yung ultimong media nyo, mas napag-usapan pa kaysa sa pay-per-view itself. Hindi ba nakakahiya yun? Yung shenanigans, yung si CM Punk nga mismo, napag-usapan pa kaysa kay MJF. And ironically, ganun din na nangyari nung huli. Si MJF, tinabunan niya si Wardlow, and it's kind of disrespectful. Now, siya naman yung nadali. Ganon Ganon yung nangyari sa fate ng All Out, and it's pretty disappointing. Diba? On how things goes in AEW, buti naman, napaka-professional ni Tony Khan. Kasi nagbigay agad sila ng sanctions. Sinabi din sa report ng SI, ng Sports Illustrated, na there's a lot of suspensions. Yeah, sinasama ko to sa first portion kasi mamaya mas malala na yung sasabihin ko. Dito, sa tingin ko, maganda yung naging ni Tony Khan. Professional siya dito. Wala siyang pake sa niya. Yes, Tony Khan is a big CM Punk kiss ass. Kasi alam niyo naman si Tony Khan, sobrang kiss ass niyan on people like him. And it's funny kasi to see CM Punk winning the AEW title in that way, it's pretty awkward. Doon pa lang ang awkward na pakinggan na CM Punk ka naman. Tapos, mag-weekend din 2-3 days later. It's it's kinda stupid at the same time, sobrang nakakayamot. No? Okay. So, pag-usapan natin yung nangyari backstage after of the short break. So, ayun, mag-formal introduce na tayo. So, welcome to the MT Show Podcast, a wrestling podcast. And, ayun. Ayun, so 99 bukas. So, let me remind you, may sale po sa Lazada tomorrow. So, if you want to support the podcast on Lazada, you can use my link on the description below. podlink.co/6gs. Again, lahat ng bagay, you can buy it on Lazada, lalo na po bukas, 99 sale po sa Lazada. If you want to support the podcast on Lazada, you can use my affiliate link on the description below, podlink.co/6gs. We're going to take our first commercial break. When we come back, we're going to talk about the AEW disaster backstage, the fallout of All Out, and also yung ratings natin for this pay-per-view. So for now, we're going to take a commercial break and let's check our bunkmates here on Bunk Collective.
Been wanting to learn about different careers? Or just need that nudge to pursue your passion projects? Here at Project Offbeat Careers Podcast, we talk to guests with unique careers outside the usual corporate shtick. Listen to historians, gamers, teachers, and cosplayers. See how they've succeeded and how you can apply their learnings to your workplace. Catch us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube. And get ready to take the off-beaten path with us.
Picture this. Two guys talking about true crime,
Weird mysteries.
horror stories,
But the conversation is light.
and mostly funny.
And sometimes naughty.
This is Scriptsalog.
A Spotify exclusive.
I'm Gideon.
And I'm Glenn, and we're serving huge portions of horror and true crime twice a week.
We'll make sure your cravings are satisfied.
And you'll be begging for more.
Char.
Check us out.
This is Scriptsalog, available exclusively on Spotify.
Hey guys, I'm Brian,
And I'm Luigi.
and this is Bulalo Sessions.
Kwentuhang puro kasabawan.
Pero may laman.
Dito, pagchichikahan natin ang kung ano-anong ganap natin sa buhay.
Pwedeng love life, kawalan ng love life,
Madalas sex, or reklamo sa trabaho.
at marami pang iba.
So, kung gusto nyo makarelate sa kasabawan,
Or bored lang talaga kayo sa buhay.
pakinggan nyo kami sa Bulalo Sessions.
Wednesdays at 8 p.m.
Kita-kits!
Ayun. So, welcome back to the show. So, ayun, magpo-formal introduction na tayo. So, welcome to the podcast. Sorry kung dito na ako nag-introduce sa second part kasi sobrang gusto ko na hindi patagalin yung ating first portion of the podcast. So, if you want to support the podcast, please follow us on social media at the MTA Show Pod. Then, yun, subscribe kayo sa YouTube, of course, at the MTG Show Podcast. Yun, pwede kayo mag-support sa akin sa gangnow.com/the MTG Show Pod. As low as $1 a month, you get access to our subscriber-only content. Plus, you can join our discussions and more to come really soon. So, of course, then yung Bunk Collective, thebunkph.com. Then, follow them on social media at the Bunk PH. And then, yun. Basically it. So, continue tayo with the CM Punk situation. So, mahaba-haba itong problema. I can say this is a problem for AEW. Kasi, CM Punk, being CM Punk, is really a problem. Don't get me wrong, may mali din sila Kenny, may mali din yung Box, may mali din si Ace Steel. Si Ace Steel, mukhang matatanggal na yon sa company. And syempre, may mali din si Ken. No? Pero si Punk, na nag-spark ng gulo doon sa sa kanilang media scrim after ng All Out. It's very disrespectful. Yung syempre sa halip na magse-celebrate ka lang ng panalo mo, it's kinda disrespectful na aabot sa ganito yung nangyari backstage. Sa mga hindi nakapanood ng All Out pay-per-view, so you know what happened. So CM Punk defeated Jon Moxley for the AEW Championship. So after nun, meron media scrim na inanong AEW, every pay-per-views naman yan. Then, CM Punk ang nauna doon sa media scrim. And there's a lot of names Punk mention sa mga notable natin dyan. Si Colt Cabana, lagi naman niyang minimension yun sa mga media scrim. So, Hangman, syempre nagparinig siya kay Hangman kasi, you know, si Punk's frustrations in the past few days tungkol sa hindi daw paglabas niya. Then, pinaringgan din ni CM Punk yung The Elite, yung tatlo. So, Kenny, Young Bucks. Sinasabi niya na parang immature dong tatlo. Tsaka si Hangman. Then, ayun, parang nag-alboroto na siya sa harapan ni Tony Khan. Ironically, sa harapan ni Tony Khan. Then, di ko na isa-summarize yung buong media scrim niya kasi medyo mahaba. Pero, para sa inyo, kung gusto niyo panoorin niyo yung media scrim niya. And, ito yung catch. So, si CM Punk, at ang CM Punk, si Patbak ba to? Hindi si Patbak to eh. Si CM Punk, si Ace Steel, at saka yung The Elite, ay nagkaroon ng backstage fight. According to Fightful, according to SI, Sports Illustrated, there's a multiple melee during the backstage fight. So, matindi yung naging backstage fight after ng All Out between the 5 of them. That's a big fight. So, Tony Khan, you have no choice. Hindi ko naman sisi. Si Tony Khan may pagka-immature din. Minsan. Pero yung decision niya kasi minsan is with points naman eh. Minsan, mga desisyon ni Tony Khan, hit or miss. No? Ako sa akin ito wala akong pake kung cancel nyo ako. Pero si Tony Khan, ang pagdedesisyon niyan, parang si Duterte dati. Mostly, nagmi-miss siya eh. Pero may mga desisyon naman siya na medyo tama, medyo pupunto naman. Pero yung desisyon na to na vacate the AEW title was the smartest thing so far. So, ayun nga, nagkaroon niya ng melee backstage. And according sa kwento sa Fightful, may nagbatuhan daw ng upuan backstage. And muntikan pa daw matamaan yung aso ni Kenny. Ay, nako. There's a lot of disasters going on in one day. There's a lot of happenings backstage in AEW. It's kind of ironic na they are parang pinaformal nila si CM Punk as the locker room leader. And CM Punk, he doesn't act like a leader. Diba? Nagmumukha siyang immature sa lagay na yan. Kasi CM Punk is really an immature guy. Parang yung galit niya, galit pa din. And ito naman si Tony Khan, konsentidor din eh. May pagka-konsentidor din eh. Buti, ginawa niya yung what's best. Yung hinayaan niya si CM Punk na mag-alboroto. Doon siya mali. Pero yung sanctions, I agree with that. Parang, that's what's best for AEW. Gagawin niya talaga yun. No doubt. Pero, yung mga sumunod na nangyari, hindi maganda. Nakakatawa nga isipin na itong melee na ito ay hindi matatapos hanggat walang natatanggal. Definitely. Walang natatanggal sa company. And nag-report nga ang SI kagabi before we record this episode na there's a bunch of suspensions in AEW right now. So, Christopher Daniels, kasama si Kenny, si Young Bucks, si Michael Nakasawa, at Pat Buck, sino pa ba nakalimutan ko? Ayun, basically them. Tapos, si CM Punk at si Ace Steel, probably by the end of the episode nung Dynamite, after Wednesday, probably they're fired. They're fired. Ewan ko, bibigyan ko kayo ng update. Probably after this episode, maraming development na pwedeng magyari sa AEW. Probably. Probably nga ngayon, feeling ko, binigyan na nila ng hatol si CM Punk. Probably today's recording. For sure, binibigyan na nila ng hatol si CM Punk. Seryoso. Parang, it's kinda a bit disrespectful talaga. Yung unprofessionalism ni CM Punk. Sobrang sobrang disrespectful. Lalo na nakaka-insulto siya. To the point na everyone is a big fan of him. And now, Tony Khan and AEW is this elementary school thing is really annoying. And then magdag pa itong si CM Punk na sobrang annoying in the first place. It's funny. Okay. So, let's go to the fallout of AEW All Out sa Dynamite. So, TK nga, in-announce yung tournament of champions. So, basically, there's 6 men fighting for the titles. So, Bryan Danielson, I forgot to write this up. So, si Bryan Danielson, he defeated Hangman Page to advance to the semifinals of the tournament. So, Bryan Danielson versus Chris Jericho is now official for next week's Dynamite. Then, meron pang isa. So, Sammy Guevara versus Darby. Then, the winner will face Jon Moxley. Rampage to. Then, the finals will take place at Grand Slam. Sa Dynamite Grand Slam. Then, meron din na crown na trios tag team champions and Death Triangle. So, si Tupac. Si Tupac, 2 belts na. And they defeated Best Friends to win the belts. Yeah. Okay. So, si MJF nag-promo sa ring. So, marami siyang WWE puns on that promo. Yeah. We don't need to recap everything that he said, but it's so nice to see MJF back in the company. It's so fucking nice to see that guy back in the company. Then ito, prediction ko lang doon sa tournament. Feeling ko it's either Danielson or Moxley. Kasi Moxley is the guy in the first place. And parang i-capitalize nila yung situation. It should be Mox. Or Danielson. But regardless, it's a hit or miss decision naman. Then, so ito pa. So, Swerve in Our Glory versus The Acclaimed is now official in 2 weeks sa Dynamite Grand Slam. Siguro parang okay. Kailangan na natin i-correct yung maling ginawa natin nung All Out. So, that's how TK thinks about this situation. And yeah, sana naman matama niya talaga. So, yeah, Bryan Danielson versus Hangman Page. So, Bryan Danielson defeated Hangman. Really, really good match. And I'm still hoping na BD will win the title eventually from whoever wins the Rampage bracket of this tournament. The main event, although, let's talk about it. Daniel Garcia defeated Wheeler Yuta for the Ring of Honor Pure Championship. So, well-deserved win. Wow. Well-deserved win from Daniel Garcia. So pagkatapos doon, lumabas si Danielson, kinabayan niya si Garcia. That's Jericho, lumabas din, annoyed as fuck. Hindi niya alam kung ano yung gusto niyang gawin. And magkakaalaman tayo. No? Kakaalaman tayo on that if Jericho will turn on Daniel Garcia or Daniel Garcia joins BCC. And maybe wala naman natin about the dissension between Wheeler Yuta and Daniel Garcia. So yeah. So that's pretty much it for the fallout. Basta ang sa akin lang, yung kay CM Punk, it's a little bit disrespectful. And buti naman nabigyan ng sanctions ng AEW. Buti naman si Tony Khan, hindi pa naman paurong mag-isip. Hindi pa naman umaabot sa Vince McMahon paurong mode mag-isip. Hindi man siya aabot sa ganun. Si Tony Khan, may pagkami mamautak naman yan. Pero there's times na hindi niya maggamit yung utak niya. Hindi ko rin masisisi if ganito yung mangyari in pay-per-views as long as hindi pa magkaayos-ayos tong backstage. Parang they don't act like men. Parang mas lalaki pa yung babae sa kanila. Like yan sila Thunder Rosa, kay sino nga to? Sino nga to? Si Rina Dib, no? Mas babae, mas lalaki pa yung mga babae sa kanila, ironically. And eventually, sana naman maayos itong sitwasyon. And sana umalis na siya ang si AEW. Ayun. So, I feel bad for the guys, especially John Moxley. Sana nga si Mox na nga lang yung nanalo ng Sunday. Kaya sad about that. So, yeah. Basically it. So, ratings natin for All Out. So, normally, hindi ako nagsasama ng nasa kick-off na matches, but I have to put this, Eddie Kingston and Tomohiro Ishii, 4 out of 5. The Casino Ladder match is 3. The Trios title, hindi ko ni-rate. The TBS, hindi ko rin ni-rate. The Trios match, yung kina Motor City Machine Guns, 4. The House, Will Hobbs and Ricky Starks match 2. Medyo, like what I said, medyo bitin ako dito kina Starks. Parang binild ng maganda tapos ito lang yung makuha ko. I'm kind of sad about that. The tag titles, it's 5 over 5. The interim women's is 3. Christopher Jungle Boy 2. Like what I said, the build up is 5 out of 5 indeed. The Bryan Danielson Chris Jericho match is 2 out of 5. Fuck you, Jericho, for that. The House of Black is 3 out of 5. And the AEW title, di ko na ni-rate. Pero kung normally naman, i-rate ko siguro to ng at least 3. 3 is enough. Masyado pa akong mabait dun. Pero, wala. Di ko na lang siya i-rate. So, yun lang. Yun. That's it for our episode on this week's episode of the podcast. So, basically, this is one of our 2 episodes that I'm going to release. Probably tomorrow, I'm going to drop another episode that this time, it's for Clash at the Castle. And yung iba pang happening sa All Out, sige, pag-usapan pa natin nun. And yung NXT Worlds Collide, we're going to talk about that and more on our another episode tomorrow on the podcast. So, for now, before we go, let's promote some shit on Shopee. So, Shopee, malapit na yung 9999 will take place tomorrow after of this recording. So, if you want to support the podcast on Shopee, 99 sale, please support the podcast using my link, podlink.co/bhx, and check out, you can support the podcast without the extra cost. Also, catch the TV special nga pala, 9:35 p.m. tomorrow sa GMA and sa Shopee app. So, it's gonna be a lot of entertaining stuff right there. And according to girl group Stacy will be there. Nga pala, nakalimutan ko. Ayun, so please watch the GMA special ng Shopee at 9:35 p.m. tomorrow on the Shopee app and on GMA. So, yeah, that's pretty much it for our podcast for today's episode. Road to Fate, malapit na rin ang Road to Fate. So, this Sunday will be the MWF Road to Fate. If you want to support the local wrestling, please support Manila Wrestling Federation Road to Fate. The main event of Road to Fate is a fatal four-way elimination match. Fabio Makisig versus Jake De Leon versus Crystal versus Nigel Suplex San Jose in a four-way for the MWF Championship, four-way elimination match for the MWF Championship. Then there's a lot of matches that you should look forward to. And ayun, gaganapin yun September 11 this Sunday sa Peta Theater in Quezon City. So, if di naman kayo makakapanood, of course, i-upload naman yan sa Gank. And please support din on ganknow.com/Manila Wrestling Fed o kaya sa manilaWrestling.com. So, here naman on the podcast, follow us on social media at the MT Show Pod. Don't forget to subscribe on our YouTube channel at the MTG Show Pod. Don't forget to subscribe. Syempre, just search the MT Show Podcast on YouTube. And you can now donate and support the podcast on ganknow.com/the MTG Show Pod. As low as $1 a month, you can access to our subscriber-only content on the platform. Plus, you can join our discussion and more to come really soon. For more podcasts, visit thebunkph.com. You can support this collective on the social media at thebunkph. You can support us as well on Gank, thebunkph on Gank. This podcast is available on all of the social and podcast platforms: Spotify, Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, Deezer, and the rest of the podcast platforms, and on the podcast app which is available on Android phones. Ayun, so all of the podcast related links is available on my linktr, linktr.ee/the MTG Show Podcast. And of course, please follow me on social media at AG Penera on Twitter and Instagram. So that's pretty much it for today's episode. You can catch me again tomorrow for Clash at the Castle review, yung All Out. Marami pa tayo mag-uusapan about All Out, then NXT Worlds Collide, and the rest of the shows this week. Ayan, so thank you. See you on the next episode. Stay safe, stay so see ya on the next episode of the podcast. In cooperation with Bonk Collective, this is the MT Show Podcast. We're out. See you on the next one.